My name is Terry Pershon, and I'm an empathic guide. Yeah, what does that mean? It means a lot of things. And I can feel so much coming from you as people contact me around questions and about themselves, about how they can release the hurts, the grief, the wounds that they've been carrying for so long, and, how they can stop that self abandonment and start putting themselves first. So today we're going to touch a little bit on this. And I'm not going to go into the human design aspect of it yet, maybe in the next one. But for today, we're going to keep it very simple, and I hope you feel my heart going out to you. So I want to tell you about a woman that I have worked with. Let's call her Maya. And after her divorce, she felt really hollow, empty inside. And that's if you've ever had a divorce, I've had a couple, you will know how that feels. And I can say for me, it was also a relief to end those relationships. I don't know your possible situation, but hopefully this will help. So anyway, she was feeling pretty empty inside, but she also felt like she had to prove herself to the outside that she was worthy of love by doing more and more and more and more. And when we keep doing more and more and more and fixing more and being smaller, that can diminish who we truly are. And many times that hollowness, that emptiness will amplify. And she kept asking others to tell her she was enough in subtle ways by doing more. And, what was their feedback? How did they feel? And she was looking at that feedback for what she was fixing and doing as a validation of her self-worth. So one night she hit a wall, and she was standing in the kitchen, and she's like, what is going on with me? And she just felt like she couldn't do it anymore. Enough was enough. And that was her turning point. And she did one small act for herself. And that one small thing was just taking a warm cup of tea in her hands. And she just told herself, her heart, her young inner child, I'm here for you. I am here for you. And I love you. And that little tiny action, it might seem small, just a few words. That was the beginning of the shift of the voice inside her, asking her that to please help. We need help. We need to be rescued by ourselves. It didn't fix everything, but it started a journey back to her finding herself again. So what does that say to us? A couple of things. Your worth, my worth, is not earned by anyone else. No one else's love, no one else's, hey, that's a great job. Thank you. And let's do this again. It's what you tell yourself. What does this mean? It means we, you, we were not put on this earth. We were not created to be validated by everyone else, that we exist. We exist for ourselves. We exist because you are powerful. I am powerful. And let's find that power again within you when we look externally for validation and self-worth from others. And you know what? I hear that a lot. And I'm hoping what you hear from me today is let's start looking inside ourselves for our own validation, our own self-trust, our own self-worth, because that's the steady. Everybody else outside of you, that's external validation, and that's going to shift and ebb and flow. But your compass inside of you, that inner child, those nudges, that's where we want to go. That's where we want to go. So let's stop handing off our power to other people. Okay. So here's a bit of a phrase. Just give it a shot. See how it goes. In the morning, when I wake up in the morning, I do various things. But before I ever get out of bed, I put my hand on my heart and on my belly. And I say, thank you, God, for this day. What would you have me do today? I am here. I am enough. And just let those words sit in your heart. Close your eyes. Notice your breath in and out for several repetitions, and internally say, I am here. I am enough. I am here. I am enough. There we go. Easy and powerful. Start your day that way. And maybe consider doing that in the evening before you fall asleep while you're laying in bed. I find laying in bed to be a place where is most relaxing for me. So if bed is not the place for you, find a quiet space, even for just a few moments, and try this practice and do this over and over again for a week and let me know how that goes. And then here's one more. What can we start to do to reteach or regulate our nervous system back to safety? That feels like a lot, doesn't it? Yeah. Showing up for yourself in small ways that teaches your body that you're reliable. Show up for you. What can you do? What is one thing you can do today to put yourself first? Just a small little micro, yes, I'm going to do that for me. I'm going to sit for, I don't know, 30 minutes and read a book or have this amazing meal that I have been wanting for so long. And sit at the table, have that meal. How does your body feel? Does it feel relaxed, tense? Can you let her, your inner child, her inner being, know that this is okay? And then one, just one more. Our feelings are going to change from moment to moment, situation to situation. They ebb and flow, right? And our feelings are visitors. They're valid. Our feelings are valid. Please don't let anyone tell you that they're not, because they are, but they're visitors, right? So our feelings, like I said, they ebb and flow, they change. And because we had this feeling over this experience, this situation, maybe about not feeling like enough, I didn't do enough, I wasn't enough. And that caused a ripple effect. But what can we do to change that? Feelings are visitors, meaning they're going to change. How we feel about a situation today, you may feel completely different about it tomorrow, a week from now, a year from now. It's how we choose to move through those feelings, to move through those energies and heal those and allow those to move through us and not stay in us. That is a big shift. Now, that might feel like a lot. And if it does, your mantra, I am here, I am enough. I am here, I am enough. I am here. I am enough, because you are. And try the breath work. When I get overwhelmed, I use my breath work a lot. And I will say, over this past month, over the different things that have been coming and going, and I've had a lot of feelings around and some things that I'm, working through. I have had to use my breath work. And I do that consciously when I feel overwhelmed or pressured. When I use it in the mornings and before I go to bed, it's not from overwhelm. It's from a place of heartfelt care for myself. So think about those things, and they matter. They all matter. And how we talk to ourselves is so, so big. So tonight, before you go to bed, hand on your heart, hand on your stomach with the words, I am enough. I am enough. That small little shifts. And then tomorrow, what's one little small yes you can do for you? Keep it tiny. Keep it real. And how does that feel in your body? How does it feel in your body? And just let it sit. You may get an answer right away from your body. You might not, and that's okay. Because I do this sometimes and I feel like I get crickets. And other times I get an answer that says, you know what? This is okay. And it's okay to feel this way. And as you take those breaths and you work on that, slowly exhale. Feel that exhale. Let some of that energy exhale out of your body. Wiggle your hands, fingers, wiggle your toes. Open your eyes when you're ready. These are small little micro steps that we can take, that you can take to start to self-regulate some of what you're feeling. What we don't want to go into is control, self-abandonment. We do that, don't we? Women, I think, are experts at self-abandonment because we put everybody else first. Everybody else first. And we'll do us later when we have time, when the time is right. I have to go take care of the groceries, or I need to make dinner. These are small little changes that we can implement throughout our day as we feel the need. And listen to those nudges. Listen to your nudges. They will steer you right. They will steer you right. If you have a nudge to go take a moment for yourself to do your mantra, then go do it. If you have a nudge that says, you know what? I need a few minutes for myself. I'm going to go take a walk in nature. Go do it. That is one of the most grounding things I have found in all of my practices, and I enjoy it immensely. So here's a bit of homework for you. Like I said, tonight, place your hand on your heart, place your hand on your belly, and use the we'll call it anchor phrase. And you might get some stories going on up in your head that, well, you didn't do this and I didn't do that. And. Those are stories. And we're going to start to shift those stories. So evening mantra, I would also suggest a morning mantra. That's how I start my morning. It feels good. It feels good. Tomorrow morning, what's one micro yes you can do for yourself? Those things, those little practices are huge, and you're showing up for yourself. And that is the biggest thing here. You're showing up for yourself. And that's what I want so much for you. So much for you. And if you're you're getting into that overwhelm at work or maybe a gathering of some sort, you're feeling that pressure that you have to control it all. You have to do more. You have to be more. You're starting to look for that outside validation, not your own internal self-worth. When you start to notice that, that's huge, first of all. Huge. And if you notice that, I just want to give you a big hug because that's big. That is big because you're noticing what you're doing when before it was just kind of unconscious. You unconsciously were doing those things. And now you're pulling your energy, your power back into you. You're noticing that. And that is so big. But what happens when it happens at work or a community gathering? Or I don't know, maybe, a situation you're having at home with your kids, your family. I don't know what that might look like for you. Take a pause. Just take a pause. Say, hey, you know what? I need a minute or two. I know that might seem a little bit crazy, or wait until that conversation is over if you can, and walk into the washroom if you're, in a public space. Walk into your bedroom if it's possible, and just take some deep breaths in, deep breaths out, deep breaths in, deep exhales out. And when it starts to become regulated, by that I mean you're starting to feel a release of the tension in your body. There we go. There we go. We're starting to regulate our nervous system. We're not allowing others externally to come in and take your power. Keep your power. Please, above all, keep your power. And we work on this all the time. When I meet with women and I hear their story of what they're wanting to work on, so many times it's around self-judgment, self-worth, and where they have given their power away to others. So let's start pulling that back. And I invite you to check out my website. It's not completely finished yet. I will just say I'm still working on it. For some reason, I am just having a problem with tech on this puppy. But at the bottom, there is a space for you to run your human design chart. So a lot of what we feel is around human design and how we're wired, how we're created, and where we're holding some of those wounds and how we can start to shift that. And if you're curious about that, go run your chart. It's down at the very bottom. You put in your details. I will send an email chart back to you, and I believe a 10-page free report, if I remember correctly. Or it should. If it doesn't, email me. I'll put my email at the bottom of these notes and let me know there's a problem. Let's start exploring. What are those little small shifts we can start to take for you today? And if you would like to learn how to work with me even more deeper levels, then contact me. I will leave my scheduling link below. I will leave my email in the show notes as well. If you have any questions for me, and let me know how these 2-3 small steps. I am here, and I am enough. So there's one takeaway for you. And then tomorrow, what's one small micro yes you can do for yourself, just for you? And try to notice, if you can, where you are looking for external validation. And let's be a little curious about that, of why. And the why may not come, the answer may not come for a bit, and that's okay. It takes time. It takes time. So our mantra, our one micro yes, and notice if you're giving away your power. Are you seeking external validation? So with that, you have an amazing week, and we're going to take this just a little bit further next week, but we will talk soon.